Ooh, baby.
Hey.
Woo!
That's a fully vaxxed man right there.
Wow,
Oh.
no kidding.
I'm vaxxed, waxed, and ready to relax.
Ready to be taxed.
Yeah.
The third word on that there's no good really third word. Everyone kind of like, the joke starts like, getting better. Every time.
Ooh. There isn't a cool way to end it.
I like ready to be taxed. I think taxed is nice.
I mean, tax day soon. I haven't even done a damn thing.
I did mine months ago because I'm always afraid of it, and I always want that kashish so I can
Good for you.
spend it immediately on satisfying debts that I have.
Yeah,
so I
that's
never
true.
get to spend it on anything nice. I'm always like paying off credit cards. It fucking sucks.
Well,
paying
I
off
should
credit
get on
cards
that.
and buying Doge.
Yeah.
Have you guys, man? We hit a. I got a text from my
Trevor.
girlfriend last night. That was just like, "Hey, have you bought a Doge? Have you heard about this Doge thing?" And I'm just like, for fuck's sake.
You're like,
Like, oh god. Like
Let
it
me
reminds me of
call me tomorrow.
Yeah, it reminds me of Epstein when the Epstein documentary came out, and I was just like, guys, do you not
Where
listen to
have
my
you
podcast?
been?
Yeah.
Or
I
at
know
least
all about
Elise
that shit.
Lam. Have you guys heard of the
Elise
Cecil
Lam.
Hotel?
Yeah.
No,
Netflix is
we
like,
haven't.
we're going to make a documentary. We're like, cool.
Yeah,
We know
yeah.
everything about it and more.
Unless you're talking about invisibility cloaks, don't even talk to us. You know what I mean?
Honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Invisible.
Bring me something new from the internet to talk
Look at
about.
this
Come
hair
on.
thing coming out here.
What do you got? You got a hair?
I got a
thing?
wisp. Is that called a wispy?
That wispy is just coming straight out today.
Ooh.
You look like a little rascal.
I am a little
Formation.
rascal.
What is going on there?
Going straight out.
Hold on for a second. What?
It's a cool
I'm like
look.
I'm trying to like kind of like subtly adjust it over here, but I'm on camera and it's like it's right there.
No
All
adjusting
right.
a good wisp. As I
got
Douglas,
it.
what's going on? Any trials and figulations?
Oh my god. Well, I haven't slipped on any figs lately, thank God. But I did give Trevor a dental stick, and he's working on that right now. But like, if you hear any whining in the background, whenever I give my dog Trevor anything to enjoy, he like freaks out about it. He'll start crying. He carries it around, but he won't like enjoy it. I don't know if you guys are like that with any like big ticket items. So. Yeah, he's like afraid. He's afraid to have something so nice suddenly in his possession.
It sounds like you're not spoiling him in a good way, you know?
Yeah,
like
he doesn't seem like he's liking it.
He's not the rich kid, you know?
Yeah,
no, he's not. Aaron or Dog, I think that mirrors your experience with Danish accessory furniture.
I think you're right.
I think if we were to give you a Danish what they call it, a Danish pensk or something,
a plinth.
If we were to get you a Danish plinth, you would just like hold it and just be like, I don't deserve this. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh God!
That reminds me of one of my favorite books, Rabbit's New Rug. I don't know if you guys read that when you were a kid.
No, Rabbit.
Rabbit gets a brand new rug.
Right.
How cool.
And he's so precious about it, and he's so braggadocious about it that he doesn't let anybody come over and stand on it. And so he has this, and then he eventually has this party, and all these people come over, and he's really, really anal about them ruining his rug the whole time. And he's basically like yelling at them. And then he pisses everybody off. And by the end of the party, he's like, you know what? I got to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
He does a ton of meth, smokes a bunch of weed, and then he lets everybody dance on his rug. And then he's like, you know what? It's cool if it gets spilled on. I'm high on meth.
Oh my God.
And that's the story I tell my kid every night.
That's such a good story and a good
Learn
lesson.
to chill. A really good lesson. A really good lesson.
Oh my God. Rabbit's New Rug, everybody.
Rabbit's New Rug. You just got a taste of what I do every night.
I love it. Yeah, it looks like he's got. I googled this. Fox friend, raccoon friend, owl friend.
Yeah,
it's like you get a nice thing. It's like you got to just enjoy it with your friends. Otherwise, what's the point of having it?
Otherwise, what's the point?
I love it. It's thrilling. Anyway, this is Did You Reddit weekly podcast. about the internet. By way of Reddit, the front page of the internet, where we talk about, we talk about stuff like rugs. We talk about stuff like plinths.
Rugs,
This is a moral objectivity podcast. My name is Mr. Dad.
I'm Dog Boobs.
I'm every day at the studio, waiting to get back into the studio, guys. I had this realization yesterday. I was driving past your house, Dad, and I was hitting that series of stoplights that just seems to take 2 years to go 1 mile. And I was like, we're never going to do this live again. There's no way you're coming here.
No,
and then going back
say that. I'll go. I was
getting bummed out. Are we going to do it live
out
again?
Of here. Yeah, hell yeah, man. I do physical therapy every Tuesday and Thursdays, which I'm going to stop doing here soon because I think I'm about to graduate. My back is probably no better, but it's better enough. And I do love my physical therapist, though. Shout out Blake Physical Therapy.
Woo!
Sponsor for today. But we do have another sponsor today.
Your
by the
insurance
way.
won't cover it.
Big time sponsor. We're gonna hit later. I've been doing that, and it's right up the street from you. So I've gotten the rhythm. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Chill.
Granted, I don't do it quite as early, but Dog Boobs is an early riser now, and I'm like, I can fucking pull off.
Yeah.
A
definitely.
cool Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning in the old studio.
And I'm getting my last shot this weekend, guys.
Oh, baby. There we go.
Well,
I mean, I think Baby Free Day is what, 14 now? Young Tony? What's his name?
Tony, right?
Young Tony, my kid. Yeah,
God,
Tony.
We haven't seen Tony in forever. He's probably going to answer the door with like a Four Loko and a wife beater and be like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, guys.
Just drinking marinara. Yeah.
Drinking marinara.
He's like, what? Who are you? Who the fuck are
you?
Who
the fuck are you guys?
God. I would be absolutely thrilled if both of your sons grew up to be like proper Gweeds.
Yeah.
Just New Jersey Gweeds. Straight up.
New Jersey Gweeds.
Out of both of them, who do you think would be most likely to be a Gweed?
The new one, Hank.
I love the new one.
He's already quite the bruiser.
Dude, Hank is shaping up into such a handsome man. I saw the pictures on Instagram. When he was a baby, he was just a big old pile of baby. And now you're seeing his features come through. He's a handsome little baby, I'll tell you what.
He looks like both from Tommy Boy. He looks like both Chris Farley and Chris Farley's father in that movie at the same time.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
God,
which is I think I'm excited about. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
We got what we're saying is we got a virgin, whatever your first son's name is, in a Chad Hank.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, one like real sweet pea, and then one just white boy summer. You know what I mean?
Oh
yeah, love it.
Just Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy invented the white boy summer in 1969.
A future brake salesman. Really?
You can only hope.
You know what there won't be in the future is brakes, though. Ironically, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there won't need to be, right? Because we'll be
in our blob chairs teleporting our minds.
Okay, I was like, yes, there won't be brakes. Good point. Because of what reason?
Because there'll be.
We won't even be moving.
Everyone will know it'll be all roundabouts. No more red lights.
I would love if all the red lights and stop signs went away and instead it was just straight around.
Imagine if there was a roundabout on the 405. Fuck me, dude.
That would be so tight.
And instead of traffic, there were just these like roundabout areas where you'd just be moving in place. Roundabout though.
I think it'd be cool because the center would be full of people selling stuff. You could just pop in and you could probably grab a dog or
your robot car would be going in circles for a couple hours. So pop out, go to the food stand, like get a Dodger dog, and then hop back in your car before traffic.
I love this future cosplaying we're doing here. So what are we talking? So we're talking like 2045, 2050.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Yeah, 2050 sounds good.
Well, Caltrans is in charge. Maybe 2075.
Maybe 20. Let's say 2075.
You got burned, Caltrans. You fucking loser.
Yeah, you got dunked on Caltrans.
Caltrans
in our Twitch chat, just getting dunked on right now. What snack is going to be the thing in 2075 that you're going to be stopping in the middle of the 405? So let's play this out. So you're driving down the 405. You're trying to get to Sacramento. because you've got to go to work at the lab grown meat factory where you
which is
are
up in Palo Alto.
up in Sacramento, and you are one of the guys who shaves the meat for kebabs.
Oh my God, yum.
For some reason you work
You're
up
a
there.
donor boy.
You're a donor boy.
Ironically, an organ donor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're a donor boy on lab grown meat. You got to go to work. You're on the 405. It's 7:30 in the morning. You're trying to get up to Sacramento by 9.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy now, but we're talking the future.
Yeah.
You get to the roundabout. You go, oh, I'm gonna let my car idle for a second. I got to get a snack. What are you getting?
I know what you're getting. So
what?
I think you're getting an IV bag, and that IV bag is gonna just it's like a colostomy bag, you know, but the other way, and it goes and it's just hooked up with all the essential ingredients you need to keep your brain next level. Except it's not what you're thinking. It's not just B vitamins, because we all know that's
what I was thinking.
That doesn't work.
So it's a Laird Hamilton Del Taco collaboration.
Yes, exactly. Ooh. There's like a bean volcano in there. Plus there's like Laird, there's Adderall, there's like some kind of like beta blocker, antidepressive. It's like all like mixed into like a cool future goo, and you have it and you're just like, oh, I feel good. And then you zip up that underground tube.
Yeah. I love that idea.
I love it. I think that works. I think this future we're imagining, and I also like the idea you're getting an IV bag, but the whole bit is you get the IV bag, it's branded Del Taco / Laird Hamilton. Yeah. And you kind of you get it, you pick it up, it's
Del Pfizer, you know what I mean?
Del Pfizer. The inflation has gone off the charts. Our money basically doesn't fucking matter anymore. This is $250,000 is how much this thing costs, which is the equivalent to like $250 today.
Damn.
Right? Just like fucking $2.50.
That's why you shop there, because it's a deal, you know.
Yeah. And then you get back into your seat. You jump back into your seat and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna be late. So your IV bag, you're already plugged in. So what you do is you get into your seat and then you just like take a little there's a button and you like put it on your temple. And then you just plug this into the IV bag, and it's like, and then it starts zooming into your skull. And then you're like, this tastes nice.
But there needs to be, if it's a roadside snack, there needs to be tahini on it.
Yeah, it's true. I like that it comes with a ramekin of tahini, and that doesn't even go in the IV bag. It's just for your finger to dip in. I'm
thinking tahini, which is like the spicy powdery stuff you put on pineapple.
Fruit.
But I prefer tahini.
Oh, I thought you meant, I don't know what tahini is. I thought that was like cinnamon or something.
Hey, if you're gonna enjoy some roadside fruit, get yourself some tahini. It's delicious.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Number one. That's.
Are you snorting that, or how are you getting that?
You put a little on your arm. Eat some fruit. No, it's delicious. It's kind of like it's kind of spicy paprika-y type, but almost crystallized more and sugary. And you put it on like pineapple and apples. Yeah,
you know what?
And shit.
When I think of pineapple, I always think not enough sugar. Let's more.
Needs more. This adds like a fun little like Mexican-inspired spice to your food.
The spice is nice.
The spice is nice. Yeah,
mangoes.
Tahini on mangoes. That's what we're saying. Crush the papinol. That's not the name at all. Tahini on mangoes. Great with Cinco de Mayo shots. Oh, today's Cinco de Mayo. Fucking hey, man.
Oh my God. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, dude, you guys aren't already partying?
So distracted by fucking May the 4th be with you.
I know, same.
May 4th yesterday.
Really?
So
yeah.
Did you guys watch Star Wars? Did you guys do anything May 4th, Ian?
I did not, but I feel like I've watched the Star Wars enough. You know, I don't need to keep doing it.
This reminds me, May 4th, the 4th be with you, of how America just stole the Colorado River from the Mexicans.
Oh yeah, it does
like the Mexicans had the 5th going on. They're like, this is like our thing. And then you just came in the day before and you made like a way cooler thing.
And it's like, here's our capitalism like holiday about this like franchise we invented about space.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with drinking Coronas or like eating chips. I don't know. It just feels like another kind of like
Yeah.
Pull out the rug from.
Yeah,
from
the gentrification of national holidays.
Yeah.
I mean,
Damn.
I think Arrested Development did a whole bit about this. Cinco de Quattro, is that what they called it? Quattro,
Oh yeah.
Quattro de Mayo, where they did Cinco de Mayo the day earlier. They tried to do a festival to mess
Cinco
with
de
the Mexicans.
Quattro. Cinco
Um,
de Quattro is a Newport Beach holiday started by Lucille and George Bluth
That's
as a way
right.
to destroy all Cinco de Mayo food and decorations, so Lucille's Hispanic staff wouldn't take Cinco de Mayo off as part of their war on May the 5th.
That's right.
That is such a fucking good show.
Oh, what
And,
a
like,
good bit! I know.
Oh my god!
I can't get enough of it. Anyway, all right. So today we're talking. So today we got a casual pod. We don't have a guest today, and we're doing it on a Wednesday. We've got a Wednesday pod energy, Wednesday morning pod energy.
Ooh.
Probably gonna do more morning pods in general because I know that this is the day that Free Day has off of preschool, I believe. So
no preschool Wednesdays.
That's a good
no
feeling.
preschool Wednesdays, we like to say. So, but anyway, so
more
today we are going. We are going to be we're going to be talking about No One Asked, which is a very popular subreddit.
Nobody.
Nobody. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Did I say that? Nobody.
You said no
Nobody.
one. Just for the
Nobody.
scorekeepers at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody asked.
Nobody.
Nobody asked. So this is where you're like, can't believe my son is already 15 and graduating junior high school. And then, like, you know, somebody in the comment section was like, yeah, well, I've had herpes for 15 years and I'm not celebrating, right?
It's like
that's, yeah, you're like,
thanks.
Cool. Okay,
Really
helpful.
didn't need to
Nobody
know.
asked, but yes, right, helpful. So that's the kind of shit that happens and nobody asks, which is very funny. But this is like a visual pod. We're going to be talking about some of what we find. Another thing that I found on that sub though, which we'll get to, is I don't know if it is for sure, but it might be the genesis or at least a nexus of "Sir, this is a Wendy's." That meme.
Oh,
which is one of my all-time favorite bits because I kept seeing it pop up in the all-time. So I was like, oh wow, interesting. This might be where "Sir, this is a Wendy's" is really kind of like hit its stride.
Oh, I love this.
Which is great.
Wasn't that from The Office?
Well, I was reading that there's two versions of it. There's "Sir,
Okay.
this is an Arby's," which seems like that's the initial meme version, and then there's an Office bit where Michael calls somebody to talk to a Wendy or whatever, and after a while, the woman's like, "Dude, this is Wendy's restaurant."
It's a Wendy's.
Yeah, it's a Wendy's restaurant, and Michael does his Michael thing. So I think it's a little bit of a combination of the two, but it became a great internet bit, I guess.
It's such a good response to someone who just kind of goes off on a long monologue about something, and you're just like, "Sir, this is an Arby's."
Yeah.
Just make them feel like this whole time you were talking to a fast food worker who is not here to listen to that. Like,
and for some reason, Arby's is funnier. I don't know what it is. Arby's has
funnier.
What is it about Arby's and Wendy's?
Who eats there? First of all,
I love
like
that
if
place.
a man came to my home right now with a weapon, held a gun to my head, and said, "You better tell me where the nearest Arby's is," I'd be dead because I know I know there are some around, but I would not be able to give you directions.
I would love that situation would be that is peak trial and figulation. A man comes in to rob you, but you're like, I don't have much money. I have a dog. I don't really want to get rid of my dog, but if I have to, I understand.
More debt than I have money. Like, please,
He's
sir.
Like, I want to know where the closest Arby's is. And you're
I
just
need
like,
to know.
I don't know. And then he like,
I looked on my phone. No, you're gonna call the cops.
The only one I can
he misses, it ricochets, it hits your big toe. He gets arrested. You broke your big toe. That's trial and tribulation.
That is. Damn. Yeah. No, I agree with you there.
So
they're all about meat too, which is bizarre. Which I don't know.
I mean, they love meat. That's their whole thing. They got fucking meat, man. They got the meat market. They got the meat market corner. There are They got shaved meat for days. In the year 2075, when I'm up in the fucking Palo Alto Valley doing the donor sales or the donor shaving of lab-grown meat, a good chunk of that's probably going to Arby's, man.
Yeah, good point. I mean, future Arby's is all going to be like solar-grown, like plant meat flaps.
I mean, honestly, though, wouldn't you think that we're already basically eating lab-grown meat in fast food anyway. Hopefully they make the transition to like no kill lab grown meat. I mean, doesn't that make sense? It's like the most appropriate place for it.
Yeah, well, they have to take like the original cell sample from, hopefully like a very handsome baby or something like that.
Right.
And then
Love it.
and then from there they make all the other future samples.
Right.
And that's what it's going to be, right? It's like they all started from a sample. But I think which like seems fine, I guess. I mean, it's going to be clean. Although one day that thing is going to come to life and like have a bone to pick.
I mean, I just had a great realization that they are going to do this, and we're going to end up having branded lab grown meat that is like there's going to be like the Wendy's style that you can just buy that's lab grown.
Like I prefer that flavor. Their lab has a special sauce.
Yeah, it's like Gatorade Frost versus like vitamin water energy.
Holy shit, this is gonna fucking happen, man.
Yeah,
we're in like a deep futurist kick today, man. I don't know what's going on.
If we take that a little further, I'm kind of freaking out because the whole idea here is to make cruelty-free lab-grown meat, which would entail like a headless cow with no brain. It would just be this big bodacious cow body that they're growing on the vine, and then you're slicing it like donor meat, and there's no cow head to be like upset about it. That is going to turn into growing brainless humans to do customer service and to do my job
for organ donation first, since we're talking about donors.
Organ donation first, and then to take our jobs.
And then to do customer service, for JetBlue.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a sub right now. It's a very, very small sub, but it is a sub that is dedicated to lab grown meat. Let's pull this fella up so you guys can see the screen. So this is a sub, literally just lab grown meat, which usually it means that it's not the best place for it. I mean, that's usually how this shit fucking works on Reddit. Right. But there's some interesting information here. I mean, we're talking like the first post is from somebody that just says, "I'm ready for a burger, but not willing to eat animals. I'm in the Bay Area. Is there anywhere I can try lab created meat?" This motherfucker created a sub just to post that, which is
he's like, bring it on.
That's a very San Fran attitude, if you ask me. But so we got the New Harvest Research Institute and Conference, and then lab grown meat could provide solutions for the environment, etc. So here we go. So which company is leading the charge I should invest in? Just joined this thread and super excited to be a part of the future. Which company to put my cash in, do you guys think? Hi, it's hard to say. Best stocks are to invest in lab-grown meat and cultured meat are still growing industries. I've compiled some links for you. So the top 10 stocks in lab-grown meat. What do we got? We got Mayatech, startup based in Israel.
Is it
Mosa
meat?
Is that what it is?
Is it supposed to be like
meat?
I
see. Yes, meat. It's fucking clever bastards.
Very funny.
MEATECH. So it looks. I mean, dude, this
Mosa
is
meat.
Mosa meat.
Future
meat. Future mates.
So there's also going to be a war. There's going to be a war between, like vegetarian meat and lab meat, right?
Yeah.
Like the Impossible Burger. So these industries are, because I heard these Impossible Burger industries, like the fake meat, like there's billions and billions going into all these companies are like transitioning to that next, right? Which apparently is not at all healthy for you. It's just like eating a bag of chips that looks like a burger. Like I don't think it's what's in it is like good. It's oils and shit. So I don't think that's the answer. But
dang.
But they're gonna be beefing.
What?
So
I mean, so here's an interesting question: is there a better word for meat? Because I'm on Memphis Meats, and like the top comments, like or the top on the bar at the top, the navigation bar, it's like making meat, which inherently I'm like, ugh.
You don't make
gross.
meat.
You know what I mean? Because every time you hear the word meat cube, don't you kind of go, I don't know, that doesn't sound good.
Meat cube. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I wonder if there's a better way to talk about this, or we're going to even see a change in the way we engage.
You should get a new artist, because that doesn't look good.
That
doesn't look good.
Nothing appetizing about this image. It's literally a boiler with like Like looks like
Meat juice.
lukewarm pink meat juice.
Liquid fake meat.
The only thing I can compare it to, and it's like kind of dark, is like a cancer tissue. Like I think
Totally.
you know these like tumorous things sort of just like starts to multiply and spread on each other, and that's the problem with cancer. But that meat vat looks like that's what's happening. It's just like these cells are kind of multiplying into this like bowl of meat.
Yeah.
And then you can just like trim off a chunk and sell it to a guy and be like, here's your bowl of meat.
Yeah, it's kind of like the process of making cheese. You know what I mean? We just kind of like throw in some milk and you just go, man, we're gonna let it sit for a while, and then it's gonna get really gross. And then once it's past gross, it is expensive.
Then it's ready to go.
I'll see you in 12 years. Cheese.
That how to draw an owl meme. The difference between cultivation and meat, there are like 20 steps between those.
Yeah, totally.
It's like you go from a vat of liquid meat to like an adorable chef in an apron being like, here's your chicken saltimbocca.
Right.
And you're like,
I mean, this says it takes
between those two steps.
Dude, between 4 and 6 weeks to grow meat.
Wow, that's not that much.
No,
think about how much longer it takes to like raise a baby cow to term, you know?
Well, I only eat veal, so I only eat 6-week-old veal. So it's for me, it's 1-to-1.
1-to-1. 1-to-1 comparison. Damn, you guys. Very interesting stuff.
Fascinating shit. Very, very interesting stuff. So anyway, but before we talk about anything on Nobody Asked, which I think we're still going to talk about, I promise. I think we need to talk quickly about our boy Bill. And because my free day is the man in the street in conspiracy. He's got all the juice that's happening with the divorce. And then we can also briefly worth talking a little bit about that article I saw this morning too. Not on Reddit, but fucking hell, man. So Big Dick Billy, as they're calling him now.
Big Dick Billy and his wife Melinda Foundation have gotten divorced.
Have gotten straight up divorced.
I mean, I didn't see this one coming personally.
F indeed. F for paying respects.
Part of, they've put on this fantastic show of love in the last like 5 years specifically, where they've been running the foundation. Some say, for this vaccine moment that we're living in now. That's a whole nother tangent. But if you watch that documentary on Netflix, which was really interesting, I thought about Bill Gates saving the world. There's a lot of good moments between him and what's her name?
Melinda Foundation.
Melinda Foundation. And they do seem like cutely in love, right? Like they seem like this cute couple, and it seems like pretty legit. And so now that they're divorced, I was like, huh? And look, people spread apart.
They
Amazon,
spread like peanut butter.
Yeah, but this one seemed a little fishy. So there's all kinds of theories going around the internet why they're getting divorced, and a lot of it has to do with Bill Epstein. With Billy Gates being involved with maybe Epstein, but also some like nefarious vaccine practices that he's been in, and the reason why he's splitting up now is because potentially there are charges coming against him down the pike, and he wants to part with Melinda now so she can sort of get her piece of the puzzle, be safe, sacrifice himself for her essentially, so he doesn't have to drag her into the mud with him if this all goes down.
Whoa.
And there was so Big Dick Bill was for sure like hanging out with Epstein after Epstein was convicted of sex crimes, like after 2010.
Okay.
Bill Gates was at the island like a bunch of times, right? You're like, okay, like you invented Bing. All you had to do was Bing, like
Bing it.
All so like like maybe should be hanging out with this guy. So there's some questions there, and so Ghislaine Maxwell is currently on trial, and she might be dumping some things about old Big Dick Billy, and so there's some chatter there where he might be protecting her, and that's why they're getting divorced, which I think is it's a very romantic, noble.
God, yeah. I love when like a pedophile like sacrifices himself like for his wife.
It's really romantic.
It's the most romantic thing.
So romantic.
Yeah. I've seen that. There's Lifetime did a take on it, which is really good.
Right.
That's so weird. I had no idea Bill Gates and Epstein were connected. Did anybody have a clue about that before this like divorce situation and people started digging?
Well, he was connected to everyone, right?
He was on the charters.
What does that mean?
Epstein on those the what do you call it? The
everybody had to write
Little
their name on the wall.
Express. Yeah, the Lolita Express.
Yeah.
Was he on the plane charter, right?
Bill was. Yeah.
Bill.
So the question, I mean, that's all back to Epstein conspiracy stuff, but like, you know, Bill Gates did not need Epstein's financial input. You know, he had access to a lot of other financial input that was like legitimate. So why hanging out with this guy other than to get a couple massages in the cabana, you know, potentially.
Think about it.
I mean, that's the only explanation.
God.
But who the hell knows? But the bigger conspiracy.
The world is run by pedophiles.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, all you're gonna do is Google that.
All you have to do is bring that one.
Have you guys watched the new Gacy documentary?
Oh my God, dude, I was watching something like I watch true crime during my workday the whole time. And I watched like a very long John Wayne Gacy program. It might have been the new documentary.
Well, there's a new multi-episode documentary on Peacock about John Wayne Gacy. And it's pretty interesting because what it kind of proposed, like it kind of like gives you all the information you know. This guy killed. There's a bunch of kids found under his fucking floorboards, yada yada, right? But then we start getting to this interesting bit where they're talking about these two other guys that were accomplices, and we start kind of figuring out that Gacy was part of or potentially was part of a pedophile ring.
Yeah, like he didn't do this alone.
He didn't do this alone, and then it was maybe they were killing these kids to sell tapes of it on the black market or something.
Oh my
God. And I've always known the Gacy thing to be a like one crazed maniac.
Yeah.
But especially now what we know about kind of Epstein and all that, all the conspiracies around, you know, around the lizard people and the global pedophile elite. It's interesting seeing the Gacy thing and knowing the facts now, and you're like, oh shit. So this actually was one of those things, right?
I need to watch that.
Is this? Yeah, there's a podcast called The Clown and the Candyman. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
I have not. No.
Dude, I think I did watch this because Dean Corll's the Candyman.
Yes, and that's not Gacy, but they were connected.
Yes,
right?
They were like
Dean Corll.
Dean Corll's even worse, I think.
Even worse, right? But there's a segment in that podcast. I listened to the first couple episodes, and I was like, I got kids. This is like freaking me out. I gotta get off this.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was a segment that talked about what you just said, Dad. It was about how there was a network of these guys like throughout. It was like Texas through Louisiana, and they were trading information, trading tapes. Like it wasn't. They weren't unconnected, which makes you think there was a network. Obviously, some Christian shit going on.
And so
scary.
So John, so it looks like, I mean, at the time the killing was the worst. It was so Corll was in 1971, and then Gacy was in 1978. So they are.
Yeah, there's like
interesting. Yeah, there's some interesting relationship there. And so anyway, so I guess the reason I bring all that up and the reason we're talking about that is because there is an interesting, like, I don't really subscribe to the Bill Gates was a like global pedophile thing, but I do subscribe to the idea that there is I think that because of things like the John Wayne Gacy story, we now look at stuff where you go, well, weirdly enough, because John Wayne Gacy was just like a local politician who craved power.
Yeah, and contractor. So I think that there's like an element of politicians that could be on the highest level of government, or like anything, you know, it could be that because they are at the highest level of government and because there's a political underbelly of like global pedophiles, that people go, then the one at the top is the biggest. And you're like, well, no, that's not really necessarily how it works. It could be that there's a bunch of other ones, and then there's different reasons why people get in politics and yada yada. But I think that it's just an interesting ripple that I don't think that's necessarily true with the Bill Gates thing, but I did just find something on
It's weird that he's hanging out on the island with Epstein. Like that's bizarre.
Well, I think it's weird in a way, but I also think that there's just a reality with that island where like there's probably like if you know
some amazing amenity.
Well, I think there's my big conspiracy with the Epstein thing is I don't remember what it's called, but there's some like it's not like Occam's razor, but there's something like that where the truth is always somewhere in the middle. I don't remember what that's called, but I usually subscribe
I think it
to
is
that.
Occam's razor. It's like,
is that what it is?
It's like when you hear like hoofs in the distance, you don't think zebras. It's like
right.
Isn't that it? It's like
I don't know.
It's like it's not always. It's not like if you have to like connect a million dots. It's probably not it. Yeah, the most logical explanation is probably it.
We could look it up.
I love the boomer. Anyway, but I think that there's with the Epstein thing, there's what I think probably is the reality is while Epstein was involved in that, I think most of the people that were on the island were there for other weird, sketchy things that were not global pedophile shit. It was actually like the financial Bilderberg stuff, right? Where like Epstein was like the key. Epstein was the guy who could link like the Prince of Oman with Microsoft so that Microsoft could get the contract to do the shit in Oman, right? And they would be like, okay, cool, come to my island, we'll talk about it. We don't have cameras here, you are secure, right?
Yeah.
Ironically, we have a ton of cameras filming you in your massage room with little
exactly.
Ironically,
but I think that's closer. I think that's closer to it, and I think that the thing that I found this very briefly. And then we're gonna move on
agree with you that there needs to be a place that people need to go to do like shady business. If you're Bill Gates,
right?
You must have a team of investigators like planning out your moves before you go for security and for things like this. I mean, I would think that's built into somebody's salary. Like that's what I would have if you're controlling cajillions of dollars. Like, so for him to just like willy nilly be like, I'll book a Southwest flight to Epstein's Island and go get the deal with the Saudis. Like, it doesn't seem very thoughtful for somebody.
Well, why don't we play this big brain shit out, dude? This is some big brain stuff right here. So the whole pedophile thing is actually a really convenient, distracting cover-up because everybody hears pedophile and they go, "Oh, that is the scariest, worst thing.
That's the worst."
Them. And then they just stare at that while all this other stuff is happening, and then like everybody who's involved go, "Yeah, like pedophiles, yeah, they're bad." Like,
so you're saying.
Because they don't want all the financial crimes and the fact that like Bill Gates is like sold all the Microsoft technology to like Iran and they're helping build nuclear weapons. And if you don't have all the like the apex pedophile stuff as the distracting super boogeyman, then the actual boogeyman is what you start focusing on and then pursuing real truth versus just the thing, right? So
like
it's like
a global pandemic.
Right. Right. But you know what I mean though? Like, because the pedophile thing is the ultimate boogeyman. Yeah. So it's like if we get freaky about that, then it means that we're not paying attention to like financial crimes or the fact that, like other darker, heavier, like, more insane shit. Like China essentially doing complex trade all through South America so that they're invading a territory that was once the United States' primary turf, right? And they're invading it financially. But we're so distracted by this pedophile thing or the whatever that we don't fucking give a shit, right? So that's what I'm saying. But, Occam's razor, which none of us knows what that means, so it doesn't really mean anything. But this is a post on conspiracy, and then we're going to move on from the Gates thing. So Gates divorcing possibly cause of this. Had to go back and dig this up. Thing is, he owns stock and would have to sell, right? The real reason for Bezos' divorce. So this is somebody referencing the Bezos divorce, and using the Bezos divorce as a reference point for why the Microsoft divorce happened, right? Or why the Gates divorce happened. So the real reason for the Bezos divorce: keep an eye on Jeff Bezos on the future. Jesus Christ! Keep a close eye on Jeff Bezos in the near. I have a theory about his recent divorce. As many of you know, the economy will be having a major correction soon. Stocks could easily go down 50% or more. Bezos, being close to the CIA and the richest man in the world, probably knows this. He knows that he will lose tens of billions of dollars. So what does he want to do? Sell as much Amazon stock as possible because his entire net worth is in Amazon stock. But imagine if Bezos suddenly started offloading billions in Amazon shares. The stock price would crash. The entire market could crash from something that big. He could also get charged with securities fraud if he sells because he knows something will go down soon. So what does Jeff do? Follow the lead. I love conspiracy. It's so funny. The way they phrase things. Follow the lead of the only executive to get away scot-free after the Enron collapse. When Enron was about to collapse, all the executives sold millions of dollars of their shares. They ended up getting charged for this fraud, except for one man. He just so happened to divorce his wife for some random stripper right before the collapse. A judge ordered him to sell his shares and split the proceeds with his now ex-wife, so he was able to get away with it all. My theory is that Bezos knows that the stock market will soon collapse. He wants to have a way to sell off his shares without getting in trouble or alerting the public that something is wrong, so he orchestrates some high-profile affair with his wife leaving him. He makes sure that there's a ton of drama to keep it in the news. Then during the divorce proceedings, he is ordered to sell his stock, so nobody thinks twice. Turns out that the person who leaked the affair story to the press was none other than the brother of the mistress. He also just happens to come out publicly to say that Bezos and his wife aren't telling the truth about the divorce, and they have other reasons. So, interesting.
Could be.
Maybe that has something to do with this Gates divorce. Maybe.
Probably.
All right.
So that whole
saying.
conspiracy it's all about the money. Essentially,
it's all about the money. It always is, though. I mean, it's not a conspiracy. That's the truth. That's just how it works.
Sorry.
Okay.
Get used to it, y'all.
Get used to it, man. Qui
Get
bono.
used to it. Qui bono. Follow the money.
Well, it'll be good to
follow
see
the money. The money. Big money is where you go when you follow the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So look out for Bill on Bumble, Tinder, all of them.
Right. Exactly.
It'll be crushing.
All right. So let's hit Nobody Asked, man.
Nobody asked.
Because we got,
Nobody
this
asked.
is like a fun fucking
It's a great
romp.
sub. It's a sub for people who were never asked and yet still explained far too much. Love it.
So I actually see this in two interesting ways. Like the first way is, hey man, nobody asked. Like, why are you sharing about your
Overshare.
herpes?
Yeah.
But the second way I see it is nobody asked. And it's like more of like nobody even asked me how I was
you're saying
feeling.
like
Oh my
I
God.
see.
And so
Emotional
no,
thing.
I'm seeing it both ways. I initially see the funny way, and then the second way I see the sad way. Like the person is lonely and nobody's talking to them, and they're like, no, nobody asked.
Yeah.
And so
people
it's like,
are like, why have you always been so sad? And they're like, nobody ever asked.
Nobody ever asked how I was doing, so I just thought I would share. So interesting how we can,
read it both ways, man.
Read it both ways, man.
Pretty cool.
Hey, words are pretty cool.
Words are pretty cool. This is a perfect post to kick us off on Nobody Asked. This is a review of a local bike park. Beautiful image of the bike park. The trail looks like there's a man and his daughter up front on their bikes. Someone took a picture from behind. 5 stars out of 5 stars. The review reads, "Why would I lie? I'm here looking for the most beautiful man in the world, and his name is Ricky, also known as BDR. Think about it. He's so majestic and possibly the sexiest human alive. Can't wait to find you."
What?
That's
okay.
That's the bike review.
That's brilliant. I love it.
For some reason, 2 people found it helpful.
I mean, I
Really
find
nice.
the trend that I see in this sub, which I think is kind of an interesting. It'll actually be a really comfortable segue into our sponsor for today. To be completely honest, is there's a lot of them are very sexual. I've noticed, and they just get in these weird worlds of like. I don't understand the impulse
I
unless it's totally
feel
a
like
troll.
I get it. I feel like it's people like nerds who are like, "Hey guys, I have sex. Guess what?
I have sex.
I have sex," and it's like nobody
I
cares.
think that could be part of it. It could be part of it. I mean, I saw this is one that was this has been trending on the sub right now, and it's very funny. This is the one that I think is getting recently. It says 5,500 upvotes submitted 1 day ago. So this is an all-star in the running. So somebody named Sean Yu on Twitter. I just went to Target for lint rollers and came back without lint rollers. Right, which in itself is just kind of like. Why are you telling us this? Nobody asked.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's exciting getting that lint off things. You know, I get.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. But the person follows up, and maybe this is the reason he did this, is because it seems like you're following up something that nobody asked for with something else nobody asked for, and the person follows up with, "That's cool. I'm currently downloading 7.8 terabytes of Japanese pornography."
Can I make?
Holy shit!
That's a lot of terabytes, by the way.
My insight there on that. The next one I want you to click on is that spider one because I think it's interesting. But for the past one, the one you just read, that was the original point of Twitter, right? Is to be like, I'm going to the store to get a lint roller. Like that was all Twitter was, and it was great. Right. People would just say like, hey, going to Arby's, get some meat stick.
Yeah.
And then someone would say, I'm downloading 7.8 terabytes. And you're like, cool. Twitter's really fun. It's a nice place. Now it's become this whole other thing. I wanted to go back to that.
It is a whole different thing. I mean, people still use it for that, but it's like now it's become the art. There's like an art to doing that. I think that this is the thing with Twitter now is people know that there's so much art to like a well-crafted, perfect tweet. That I think people are just constantly searching for that great, perfect tweet. And it's like the #1 platform for that. But so this is a spider one you just referenced. So on a cute video about a woman who spent months rehabbing a tarantula so it could go back outside. I didn't know what to do, right? So we've seen these videos, right? Where it's like I found an injured dog. Yeah, I found an injured dog. He had rabies. I left him in the sun for a long time, and then he got and he was over with rabies, and then I let him whatever, right?
Right. And so then
all these crazy stories.
And so this cute little story about a spider, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
yeah, she probably put a little cast on his legs.
Put a little cast, really cute. Give him a little thermometer, a little thimble of Dayquil, real cute stuff. And we're all going, that's a nice waste of my time. That was perfect. Yeah, that's just what I want out of the internet. And then the next person comments and says, must be nice to have that much time on your hands. To save a spider must be nice. Wish I could, but I actually have to work, pay bills, and feed a family. And you're like, who the fuck is that asshole that like just like comes in and throws their dark cloud of shit on everything?
But I feel like that's the second usage of nobody asked that you're talking about, which is like nobody asked how I'm doing. Like I wish I had time, but no, I'm too fucking busy doing all this other shit. But nobody cares about me, right? Which is kind of the attitude there. And
but there's a lot more there than I think. Like it's an attitude. I don't think
it's such a common attitude on Facebook.
Exactly. And I think people don't realize like how it makes them sound and how it's like this, it's like a reverse magnet for people to stay away from you.
Yeah.
Like all you want is the attention, but you're actually repelling people because of the way you're casting your shitstorm on people. And I just think there's like, it's until you hear yourself say it, you probably don't know you're doing it a lot of times.
Totally. I also think that this is the other category. These are the categories I've noticed. There are people who are oversharing sex stuff, which is very specific and very weird. And then there's people who are just like, for some reason, they just decide it's the perfect platform to go off, right? Which is what the second person was. And maybe that person's like having a fucking terrible day and they just need to get it off their shoulder or get it off their chest and they have nobody to talk to. This is this other category that I've noticed here, which is, there might be a fourth, actually, knowing that the like, sir, this is a Wendy's thing, but this is another one where people are like assuming that any interaction between two people is like a hit on. I've seen this come up a couple times. So this is
every time I get a text, I assume it's
someone's hitting on you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm married.
Listen, Greg, I got a wife.
Sorry, but I'm married.
I got a wife.
Like,
dude,
I'm still outside with your DoorDash order, sir.
Yeah, it's Kevin. I'm outside with your DoorDash order, dude. Get your spicy noodles.
So this is the title of this post is, please, I just want to get the group project done. So it's a text between two people. The first text is, hey, are you free at all this weekend? And then the person's response is, I'm kind of already seeing someone. Right? And the person responds with, that's nice. We still have 8 slides to do. So,
what a terrible school partner.
What a weird arrogance that
honestly
you assume that somebody is hitting on you
no
matter what.
I mean, sometimes, like, I get it. You want to be direct because there are times when, someone's like, especially in today's day and age, I feel like guys aren't like, hey, want to go on a date? They'll be like, hey, want to hang out? Like, maybe like just hang out. And like, if you don't say, I'm not looking for a relationship, they'll try to put the moves on while you're just hanging out.
Yeah,
so I get that. If you're in a group project and you've got 8 slides left, like, you should probably assume that guy's reaching out about your group project.
But
oh my God.
In this person's, the first texter's defense, the second responder's defense, maybe some more context is needed in the initial response. Like, hey, are you free this weekend to finish our project? Like, pretty simple.
Maybe she thought it was done. Maybe he thought it was done,
Maybe he's super hot.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just like a real hunk city.
Sorry.
And he's like, sorry, dude, I'm like with a bunch of girls already.
I'm with a bunch of girls right now. I'm so sorry. Okay, this one's really hilarious because someone wrote a question to Cora and asked, which is the original? Sir, this is an Arby's, or sir, this is a Wendy's.
That's what we're wondering. That's a great question.
This is a perfect response. Former teacher, 1970 to 2008. So we can imagine this is an older person. Arby's starts with a vowel. So it is correct to say, sir, this is an Arby's. Wendy's does not start with a vowel. So it is correct to say, sir, this is a Wendy's. If you are asking which establishment started first, I would say Arby's started before Wendy's in my area, including the whole U.S. The first Arby's was started in 1960, and the first Wendy's was started in 1969.
Dude, and this is what I love about this, too, from Quora, because Quora is such a hilarious platform. Like, you have these random people who are just answering the strangest things. And that person is a retired school teacher. They taught from 1970 to 2008, so they have no fucking idea. They have literally no idea the context.
They're on Quora. That's the
they're answering something
knowledge.
on Quora as a retired teacher. So that person's just like, hey, in meme terminology, what started first? Sir, this is a Wendy's, or sir, this is an Arby's? And they're like, well, in my area,
Arby's was founded in 1960. This comment's amazing. The honorific sir is derived from the word sire. If you rearrange the letters in sir, this is an Arby's, you can get the phrase Assyrian rib shits. More info we did not ask for.
The other thing too, so this reminds me of when we talked to the fucking boys about the what were those things, the fucking starter packs. When we talked to them about
Camp Good Boys.
Camp Good Boys. We were talking about starter packs and how there's this weird thing in the starter pack culture where people will respond as a like, hey, I know that this is not a direct message to me, but it feels like you were trying to be direct to me, but you got it wrong. You need to change this, right? You're just kind of like, what are you talking about? This had nothing to do with you. And I think a lot of these posts have a little bit of that vibe. Like, this is one too.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually really, I saw this and I was like, oh, that's relatable. So this is POV. So point of view, you're 12 years old, swimsuit is dripping wet, you're cold as fuck. And it's in this old hotel. We all remember this.
So
right?
relatable.
Yeah. And you don't remember what floor, and you don't remember what floor your room is on. Right?
Everything looks the same. You're cold.
Everything looks the same. I distinctly remember having this experience for sure. And then the person's response was, when I was 12 years old, I had depression and childhood trauma. Try a different age. Like,
I wasn't talking to you, like specifically.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Nobody asked how I was doing.
Exactly.
Asked how
That's
I
the
was
problem.
doing.
Nobody's ever talking to me.
Nobody's ever talking to me. Why is nobody talking to me? I'm such a cool person to be around. Yeah.
Oh God.
This is fucking insane.
What could go wrong
so
doing
bizarre.
a stupid challenge?
What could go wrong during a stupid challenge? So this is a woman So every one of these requires a little bit of the context because the context is what makes everything here. Because it doesn't. The context is like irrelevant to the response. Like that's what's so strange about these. So what could go wrong doing a stupid challenge, and you have a woman who just like middle-aged suburban mom kind of woman with a watermelon. I assume
in her
that the
robe.
challenge in a robe. It seems like the challenge must be slam a watermelon on your face.
No,
Yeah.
it's a basketball, I think, and the challenge was you would drop a basketball with a open can on it, and then the ball would shoot.
You're right.
The ball would shoot the can up in the air, and if you do it kind of just right, you can grab it easily. But like most times, the can just goes haywire, and you get sprayed. And it's like, whoa! And
That's
it was,
right. No, I'm seeing that now. You're right. Yeah, so it's a green ball that looks like a watermelon, but
it looks like a water. Hey, who makes a basketball green for starters? Like,
Right.
Who makes a basketball green? So that's the context. So, and then the response is 13-year-old me would have masturbated after almost being able to catch a glimpse of her panties at the end. This would have been 1974. We didn't have the sexual smorgasbord available to 13-year-olds in 2020. Sigh. What?
Oh my god.
Downvoted.
Huh.
0. It's older people.
Yeah, it's older people. I mean, this person, so 13-year-old in 1974. So this person's born in 61, which makes them, what, 50 fucking 7? What year is it?
47 plus 13,
59?
6 years old-ish.
Yeah, so very weird. I mean, I guess maybe this is also the thing. Like, this is an older person. Like, all of these kind of remind me of the way my mom talks, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like,
They're all, it's like old people or angry people.
Everyone, people
old
feel
people
angry.
are angry people that like don't, because with old people, in my mom being an example, is like I'll ask her something and then her brain skips like 6 steps and then explains something to me or says something to me that she didn't give any context to how we got there, and I know what she's doing in her mind. She just like doesn't bother telling me the middle steps, right? But that's I don't, maybe it's an old person thing. Is this something that just happens when you get older?
Maybe.
I think.
Are we being ageist right now? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll say this: like when you're like, we're all in a phase right now where you're very busy, and I think you there's not a lot of extra time to like stew in your own anger and bitterness, because you're probably just like busy, sleep, busy, drunk, busy, and it's like that's it. But I think when you're older and retired, you might just sit around going like, these fucking people, they have no fucking idea.
They got got a lot of time.
They got no fucking idea what I've been through, man.
Yeah.
Just like this
Masturbating
person.
in 1976 was a pain in the ass. They don't even realize how
we used to have to peep and Tom all around town. You guys have your internet and your porn hubs. Yeah. It's like, dude, what? We didn't ask.
Like, why, dude? So this is a comment on a People magazine, people.com article. Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song welcome a baby boy named Dakota in honor of the actor's late sister.
That's
a
nice.
great name. Mary, who already sounds old based on that name, says, "Congratulations to the new parents. Unfortunately, I know someone personally who would get very upset reading this. Because seeing that they named their child Dakota, the person I know would be very upset and say they stole her child's name, even though her child is an adult. Believe me, I went through this for years. This person named their child Dakota, and I believe it was a few years later, a friend of mine had a child, and she always loved the name Dakota, so she named her son that. Boy, this person I know got very upset, and for years and years, that's all I've heard about. Complaining that this friend of mine stole her child's name. I told her, get over it. Everybody has the same name, basically. There's not just one Tony or one Elizabeth. It's ridiculous."
What the world?
Great story.
I love this is like a classic. Not me, but my friend, right?
Yes,
like it's like
my friend.
All of this is like I have a
my
friend
son's name
to
is Dakota,
experience this.
certainly. This is an old person who's sitting in their chair with their iPad on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, People magazine. Oh, Dakota. That reminds me." And they're like, "I'm gonna just tell this story.
I got a thing to say.
I got a thing to
something
say."
Who's
this
more,
not what social media is about?
who's more
I can say it.
effective what's the word? Not destructive, but who's caught? Yeah, affective, maybe, right?
Right.
Who's more those people in their Facebook chairs, or like teenagers in their Facebook chairs? I'm not sure. Like, there's two populations of people that are extremely busy on iPads, and they're up to no good. You know.
Well, I think old people. So we're talking boomers versus
Zoomers, I guess,
Zoomers, right? Boomers versus Zoomers. So I think
classic millennials, right in the middle.
Millennials, right in the middle. So boomers, I think, are they are dumb idiots who should never run for office, but also are like ultimately they're not causing any real pain. They're just doing stupid shit. Like TikTokers, Zoomers, etc. are like creating trends as we speak constantly, right?
Yeah.
So I think that what boomers do, we just laugh at, and I think what Zoomers do are actually impacting the world.
Yeah.
I'm talking only on social media. Well, actually, I don't know if that's true, because obviously Trump and people like that, are hugely manipulative online. But I think if we're talking like the stereotypical boomer, I think that they're a little less worrisome because of things like this. Where like you read that and you just go, well, you clearly don't know how this works, lady, right? And I also think there's a mental illness thing. That's kind of why I go back. I'm like, yeah, there is an interesting, because these also read as just like weird mental illness. Like I have this one pulled up right now. That's so this is from a post. So the guy in red and the guy in blue, right? And the guy in red was talking. This is about a mac and cheese recipe. So somebody's making mac and cheese. When people make stuff like this, I consider it cheating. But those look so good, right?
Funny.
So this person probably, this is probably like a recipe that uses like Velveeta cheese. And they're just like, they're like, ugh, looks damn good, but that's kind of cheating, right? Using Velveeta, they already did that for you, right? And the person responded, and this person looks like a relatively younger person, right?
He's wearing a deep V.
He's wearing a deep V. So my great uncle cheated on his second wife, and I can assure you it isn't comparable to what you just said, and especially what it did to our family. Choose your words better next time, I suggest. So this is this falls in the second camp of like nobody asked me how I'm feeling.
Nobody
like,
asked
I just
me.
love the and I assure you this isn't comparable to what it did to our family.
I assure you.
Yeah.
This mac and cheese recipe that you say is akin to cheating isn't comparable to what real cheating is like. It's like, no shit.
Has nothing to do with what happened to my family.
My God.
You literally these are good examples of like, it's impossible not to offend somebody.
It is.
Oh yeah. Isn't it crazy?
It really is.
And
here's another great example of someone getting offended. This one is just all good-natured fun. It's a TikTok video of a group of boys doing a silly dance routine. Okay? That's all it is. Okay? So someone responds with a really just good-natured, this is what I mean when I say boys will be boys.
Hell yeah.
How can you say anything negative about that, right? That's fun. Right. Like, that's like, boys will be boys is a controversial statement. These boys are doing a silly dance routine. Hey. This is what I'm talking about when I say
it's
boys
a statement
will be boys.
I personally live by it. I got the tattoo on my back. I love
boys will be boys, lower back.
How could this go wrong?
Yeah. Someone, anti-feminist, I'm imagining, gets on and says, okay, we're at least not having to sit down for 30 to 60 minutes waiting for some nails to be done and then cry that it doesn't look good.
What?
Literally upset, being like, oh, you're basically took that as an insult against boys and is like, okay, well, at least we're not girls who spend an hour doing their nails and then cry when it doesn't look good. It's like, what? I was enjoying this video of these boys dancing.
Yeah, it seemed like they were offended. The boy was offended for being like lumped into boys will be boys. Like it belittled their goof.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, boys will be boys.
Here's a good response all around for everybody in their life. All right. Just like
and then just walk away.
Just walk away.
That moment in Liar Liar where Jim Carrey's like, and then just like fucks off.
I mean, you can use it anywhere. So
great. Yeah. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, this is a really funny one too. This is I like this one because this is This is peak. This is some nerdy fucking dork shit. So, I think we've all seen this photo. Actually, this is a really it's a funny, weird, somewhat racially charged photo where it's a prom or homecoming, and you have an Asian man, a like tall white quarterbacky looking bro, and then like a black man, and then you see the three girls that each of them are with, and then the girl with the black man is Asian. The girl with the white guy is black, and then the girl with the Asian guy is white. So it looks like if you just rotate them like clockwise, then they match up racially, which is like the weird the like joke, right? So and then the comment is when you're one rotation away from solving the Rubik's Cube, right? So edgy teenager humor,
racial meme,
right? And then the comment is kind of funny since I'm a speed cuber. My best time 12.43 seconds. So
no one asked. Nobody asked.
As a speed cuber, that's a pretty funny joke.
I like that the guy, like, there's probably not a lot of speed cubing memes. I'm sure there actually are a ton of them.
I'm sure there's plenty.
I like that this guy was like, finally some good speed cube memeing.
Yeah, he's like, this is the perfect opportunity.
This speaks directly to me.
I mean, I wonder
all those kids were very good looking and looked cool. Like, is that what kids look like now in high school? That was like a hip looking high school.
Yeah,
Beverly Hills.
Young Tony look. Doesn't he look like that?
Yeah, he's barrel chested and he's got sweat stains and a lot of gold.
So he looks like Carl from Aqua Teen.
Yes.
Is that what he's gonna grow up to be? I hope, man. That'd be amazing.
My 4-year-old. That's what I'm gonna grow up to be.
Disgusting. This was posted on a small town's Facebook group, so almost like what are those apps that are like the neighborhood watch apps? So it's like neighbors being next like, hey, did anybody? Yeah, next door. Did anybody's like trash get knocked over by a raccoon last night or something? Exactly. So the person goes, hey, all, is anyone else's lights flickering on Main Street? Thanks. And this guy writes back, no, LOL, ... The only thing flicking here is my wife's bean.
Oh, my God.
The next person just says, what the fuck?
I love it.
The only one flicking over here is my wife's bean. Oh, Jesus Christ. And that's also probably like, you know, we know what that person looks like. They are not a fucking, that's not the family up the street where you're just like, would love to just like, you know, just be in the room for 1 second. No, that's two retired school teachers.
Well, it's not a term. That's not a term that's current or popular now. That's like a term I remember from the 90s, like when I was like in 7th grade, where I didn't know what it meant, and some adult would be like, hey, flicking the bean, you'd be like, yeah, all right, what?
Yeah, okay.
So that person's got to be like 57 years old.
I love the comment, I'm thinking about those beans. Do you remember the meme, I'm thinking about those beans?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Let me share it. It is fucking hilarious. It's like this old man, Bill Foster, just like on Facebook, wrote to Bush's beans, I'm thinking about those beans.
Oh, that's my guy right there, man. That's
thinking about those beans.
I mean, this is the oh.
So that's
intentionally misspelled catchphrase. Yeah. Often used in tandem with an image featuring baked beans, especially the American canned beans brand Bush.
The phrase is used in shitposting.
Man, I'm just gonna like I'm gonna save that and start using it wherever I can.
I'm thinking about you gotta have like a sticky on your desktop that's just like copy pasta, like bullshit shit posting stuff. Thinking about those beans. Only thing flicking on this street is my wife's bean.
This is another one. This reminds me of, I had an experience very similar to this in a grocery store once. So Matt, I don't know, saw this in a Facebook comment section, and I don't really understand the top point anyway, but so from Matt in red, I grew ovaries and they exploded. Such cuteness, right? Which everybody reacted to. 4.9 thousand reactions.
Oh, boy.
And then the comment below, that's funny, Matt. I had a son named Matt. He passed. Have a good day.
Jesus.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh man, it's like things like that. That's another category I feel like is people that are reaching out for some human connection.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, the story I was going to say, there's a grocery store up the street from me. And it's not not a, how do I say it? It's not the best grocery store in the world. You know, and I went there one day and I was just like shopping for some fucking whatever, cereal or some bullshit. And I see this woman and she's trying to get something. She's like, "Excuse me, could you help me grab this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll grab it." And I was like, and she said something like, "Wow, you got a lot of tattoos, right?" Like my son has a lot of tattoos. Well, he used to. And then she just like wandered away.
Oh God.
And I was just like, what?
You're like,
and it was like, it was the strangest moment where I immediately knew. I was like, it was something like that. Or like, it was like he was tall or something. Or maybe, you know what it was actually? She said, "I used to have a son." She goes, "My son," or "I used to have a son that." And I was just like,
oh,
excuse me?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, my
and it was and it was a really weird moment of like intense emotion. And then she said it in a way and then just kind of wandered away. And I didn't have any time to react. And I was just like, what? Dude. What happened here?
That feels like a troll, you know?
It was really weird. Yeah, it felt like it was like an Eric Andre bit or something. It was really fucking bizarre. All right, let's read. Because we want to get to our sponsor, let's hit another sexual one. Because I feel like there are sexual ones that have to segue into this. So I saw this on. Here's one. I saw this on my Twitter feed this morning. So, which this one I will say I do not prefer the ones that are just a statement without somebody that they're responding to.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the point of Twitter. It's like you say shit that doesn't matter. Like you could also say like, "I didn't ask about lint rollers," right?
Right.
So this one is just somebody on Twitter, and even her photo is kind of like has a little bit of the like sex appeal is an attribute I like to show. I like to make a part of my brand, right?
Yeah.
My dad invited us tomorrow to an event we always go to every year, and now I'm probably not even going to be able to walk. Shower sex fucking destroys my leg muscles. And you're kind of like, huh? Those are two unrelated things.
My dad invited us to an event we always go to every year, and now I'm probably not even gonna be able to walk. Wow.
I'm guessing the event is something like a car show or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
Or like an airplane show in Ventura County.
Yeah,
exactly.
A vintage airplane show in Ventura County, no doubt.
Let me just tell you, Clensington loved those.
Oh my God. Anyway, all right. So why don't we read some ad copy, because we actually have another brand today, and this one is like the fucking. I feel like this is like the fucking Casper mattress level, dude.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
Now we're talking. We're talking
now
like
we're
the
talking
fucking elite land.
Because they're letting us talk about
sponsor.
sex in our ads now.
Thrilling. I know.
Okay.
Well, we are deeply sex positive, as we talked about on this pod. So, anyway, why don't you? Do you want to read this, Dog Boobs? Or
yeah,
Frida?
man.
Who wants to read this? Go for it.
Yeah.
Well, Freed, what did you want it?
Okay. No.
Okay. No.
It would be weird if I did.
It would be weird if you did. You guys know about AdamandEve.com, right? AdamandEve.com is pretty much like an awesome site for all of your sex wants and needs. And
pretty much everything.
We, like we said, are an extremely sex positive sub. So whether you're looking for some extra fun in the bedroom, or maybe the kitchen, or maybe the closet, or maybe the shower, like this lady here, you're going to want to check out AdamandEve.com because, AdamandEve.com. Can I say any more? Yes, because there's more to this ad. So what we want to say is you've probably gone there. You've probably seen some of their offerings. I mean, we got the variety. We got butt plugs. We got dildos. We've got flavored condoms. We've got board games that make you do interesting positions, I'm assuming. Just go check it out yourself. AdamandEve.com. Free stuff's awesome. Free stuff to spice up your bedrooms even more awesome. So if you select one item for 50% off, Adam and Eve will load a free not shit thing, but thing. We might have to edit this one. A free thing. So just use the offer code BLEAV, BLEAV at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts with your order. So you'll get tantalizing.
Dude, every time I see and hear an Adam and Eve ad, I'm just like, that sounds like the greatest deal on the planet. Like they straight up are just like, buy one dildo, get 10 fucking massive butt plugs for free. You're just like, what?
Yeah, we're losing money if we don't.
Yeah.
If we don't shop.
They give you fun ideas for combination things too, because you're like, a dildo and a butt plug. Didn't even think about it. If you're new to this kind of stuff, maybe you didn't even think about it. But they're gonna throw.
Do they have butt plugs, like animal tails and shit like that as butt plugs?
Yeah, I'm going through the website now. It's very well done. I'll say it's very well designed, better than Craigslist. And there's like a nice for her tab, for him tab, for couples tabs. So you're like, okay, right away it's like very well organized, which I appreciate.
Yes.
And then there's vibrators, bondage, lingerie, lubes, and oils in separate tabs. So it's all kind of laid out for you pretty clearly. I mean, man, we've really made it to the top.
Yeah, guys.
I love it.
And like, if you think for guys that a fleshlight's the only thing that you can get, think again, because we have come light years since that. Okay, there is so much fun stuff for you. So again, enter the code BLEAV at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, perhaps a sexy item for him, a special gift for her, and maybe a third that you'll both enjoy together. And then, get this, not even done. 6 free spicy movies. Those might be pornographic. I don't know, but they are spicy. Plus free shipping.
You get Savings Private Ryan. You get fucking Armageddon.
Savings
you got
Ryan.
Jurassic Park 1 through 4. Yeah, exactly. No, they're probably porn, but that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm also looking at
Jurassic Pork. Or
I'm looking at their sex dolls right now.
Yeah.
They've got sex dolls?
They got sex dolls. They got the blow up variety, and then they got the. I don't know if they have real dolls. I think the real dolls you probably have to get custom made, but they got some expensive ones, man. I'm looking at a $3,000 sex doll right here. So
kitty. So
it's nice here too. They have a how-to sex toy guide section in the men's. I'm sure in the women's too, but they have like about men's penis rings.
Yeah.
What is a penis ring? What is a butt plug? How does a penis pump work? I'm like, you should read all that shit before you just go for it.
Agreed. And even more important, sex toy cleaning tips.
Oh yeah.
Very
That's
important.
pretty important.
But I love that too, because Adam and Eve is clearly trying to kind of democratize the sex toy industry, make it accessible to people who want to learn, try new things together, try new things alone. This is just a great opportunity if you're new to it or if you want to pick up some new stuff. So again, that's BLEAV offer code at checkout at adamandeve.com, and just get all your freebies, guys. Like, have a sexy May.
I mean, they got this goddamn Arcwave Ion that I'm looking at right now that basically looks like it's either a sex toy or a water purifier. Like, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I don't think this is going to get us kicked off of Twitch. I don't think.
No.
Sex positivity, guys. Look at this fucking thing, dude. Tell me, is this a soda stream, or do you put your dick in it?
It's a soda stream. You put your dick in it, and you can also put your cell phone in it, and it cleans it.
So it's like I actually don't think you should put your penis in there because it's probably.
I don't know what it does.
Cancer causing. No, it's the ions kill the bacteria, and so it's the same thing with the water purifier. I think you put a dildo in there and you hit blast, and it like blasts it with ions.
Is that what it does?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I mean,
it's an air-powered simulator.
Air-powered simulator.
No.
No, you do put your dick in this. But I don't, man. That's crazy.
Wait, you put
your fully waterproof.
That does not look sexy.
And it doesn't look waterproof, so it's important to read these product descriptions, guys, because
that looks like a Keurig.
Yeah, it looks like a Keurig. You put a pod in one. You put your dick in one side, a pod in the other side, and you got coffee. You got coffee and masturbation.
Coffee with cream, if you know what I
mean. Whoa, grody!
Wow.
Yeah.
Grody. Crazy shit. Anyway, so go to Adam and Eve, use Believe, get a discount on our behalf. Fucking go for it, man.
Retire your coconut.
Don't send retire your coconut.
Put that coconut in the green bin and move on.
You're right, because it is
break up with your coconut.
Biodegradable waste.
I love it. All right. Well, anyway, so let's get back to the pod. And so why don't we quickly to end this out? So nobody asked. Again, fun subreddit. Add it to your subscribes and just like fucking pay attention to it. It's a funny romp, not that crazy. It's a playful pod, or a playful subreddit rather. Before we end this sub though, or this fucking podcast, let's quickly talk about this fucking ship.
Yes,
because I think this is hot news. I think that this is a really
about the friendship story. Or what are we talking about?
We're talking about the friendship. Let's talk about this ship. I gotta find one that is. So I found this article on Wall Street Journal this morning that I was kind of looking at, and I was just like, man, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Dog, Aliens? Did you read up on it at all?
Yes, about the guy who's stuck on this boat.
So I don't have access to the Wall Street Journal. They have a paywall, so I don't know if we have a better article to cover it. Yeah, but so this is the article that pulled me in was trapped aboard an abandoned cargo ship. One sailor's 4-year ordeal.
Wow. This is nuts. So this is an article about basically a guy who was one of many sailors aboard this cargo ship that when it went to the Suez Canal, which I'm going to admit, you guys, I did not realize was in the Middle East. Did not.
Okay.
It's in Egypt.
Why would you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you? I'm like, a canal that's got to be South America. No, it's in Egypt. So this is one of many guys on this cargo ship that basically this happens where these owners of these cargo ships will run out of money or get hit with all of these different like tariffs or fees and random shit that basically everyone abandoned the ship, including the owner. This guy, Chief Mate Mohammed Aisha, who is the only guy left on this, he was basically tricked into signing something that said he was the legal guardian of the boat while the owner was not there. So no matter what, he's a Syrian. He cannot get off the boat. He's in international waters. He can't go onto land because he's in Egypt and he doesn't have permission to be in Egypt. He can't leave the boat because the boat's there. Like the boat can't move. So you can't have like this abandoned ship in the Suez Canal. It's like he's legally responsible for it. So this happened in 2017, 4 years ago, and it took that long. He was on it the whole time. This is the most insane story.
And then looking out in he can actually see the city from the boat and see people playing their Rokus and watching their flat screens and stuff. And
oh my God.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, this is so. I'm looking at this article on. I'm also seeing an article from the New York Post, which is a little bit. I think they're getting sued right now. By the way, that maybe
New York Post.
Go under. Yeah, but they're a little bit more. They're a little bit more colorful with their language, talking about the story. But so the vessel was detained in the port of Adabaya, Egypt, near the mouth of the Suez Canal. So the ship's captain was out running errands on shore, and Aisha was working on repairs when an Egyptian courier boarded with a letter declaring the boat would be held until its owner paid $21,500 invoice for a 3-ton anchor bought the year before. So this is like this person, basically somebody owed money, and they were like, we're not letting anything happen until you owe this money, and. And so yeah, so he signed legal paperwork that said he was the owner of the ship because the captain wasn't there. So the captain literally ran out to do errands, and then he came back, and there were cops on the boat, and he was just like, "Oh shit, I can't go back there."
Bye.
So I had no idea. It was the biggest mistake of my life, is what Aisha told the newspaper. On November 2017, Aisha called the ship's agent to leave, but a port official told him that as the ship's legal guardian, he was required to stay on board. And then he got word in 2018 that his mother had died, and by 2019,
that's heartbreaking.
He had been left entirely alone aboard the vessel as more than a dozen crew members called it quits one by one and went home. So he was on there with a bunch of other people for 2 years, where they were probably fucking planning a mutiny, right?
Yeah.
Because at that point you're like, all these other people are like, dude, fucking, why are you're in charge here? Tell us what to do. He's just like, I'm not actually in charge here.
Exactly.
Right?
All those sailors who were still on board, it's basically the idea. It's like basically an abandoned ship by the captain. But all those sailors stay on board because they haven't been paid yet. So they are like, if we leave, we're forfeiting all of the money that we are owed right now by this captain. Right. But after that many years, it's like one by one, they're like, fuck it. I'm not going to sit on this
there
boat.
For 2 fucking years. So he got word. So at night, Aisha told the news outlet that the ship was as dark and silent as a grave.
Oh.
The ship's agent supplied food and fuel, but as time went on, the deliveries got smaller and less frequent.
Oh my
he had
Lord.
more than a few Aisha had no more than a few pieces of dried bread to eat some days. And then 2 times in 2019, he radioed distress alerts claiming the ship was no longer supporting life, and then took a lifeboat to shore hoping to cut through the bureaucratic red tape. But the police escorted him back each time. Oh my God. He even pleaded with authorities to put him in jail, but they said they couldn't because he had done nothing wrong. So he was stuck in this like permanent purgatory.
Yeah. During one scary episode in 2019, he said the ship began to take on more than 6 feet of water. So he shouted, "Mayday, Mayday," into the radio. Still took hours before military arrived and took him to shore. And then even after that, he was returned to the ship, which had its hull repaired, following 10 days of interrogations in military and police stations. This guy was dealt a shit card. Like, I read it in the Wall Street Journal article that he would watch like Jamie Oliver videos to try to learn in the beginning because the chef quit, how to cook meals for the crew that was left. That he would call his mom. He was close with his mom. He would call his mom for help and like advice, and suddenly it's like talking to his mom started happening like fewer and far between, and it was because she had cancer and was dying.
Oh my God, dude. So he developed scurvy-like symptoms, obviously, because he's on a fucking boat and he's not getting fed. So he began to lose 3 teeth after months of poor nutrition. In order to fall asleep, he took 12 painkillers a night. So he's basically eating, his only nutrition at this point is painkillers, right? And then here's the twist that brings it all home on the internet. So in March 2021, a storm blew the vessel off its anchorage, causing it to run aground near the mouth where the massive container ship, the Ever Given, got stuck and blocked the canal for nearly a week, right?
Oh my God.
So the Ever Given comes in, saves the day. So Aisha described the storm as divine intervention. So this guy's hallucinating.
Oh my God.
He's tripping out on painkillers. He's like, I don't know how he didn't kill himself. Like this is like, I mean, dog, you would have killed yourself in fucking September.
Weekend 3.
Sure. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So Aisha described the storm as divine intervention. He also swam ashore in port police, who called him castaway. Jesus, so fucking cruel. Told him they would not arrest him as long as he returned to the ship by sunset. Ultimately, Aisha was freed after International Transport Workers Federation offered to have one of its union representatives in Egypt take Mr. Aisha's place and become the legal guardian of the vessel. Well, how has nobody just paid this goddamn
time to pick up? I mean, it's always a great time to buy a boat. I lived on a boat for 3 years. I know this.
Right.
You can always pick up a hot deal on a boat because there's always a guy like this who wants to get rid of their boat. always. You could get a tanker for like what I'm guessing is about 25 grand. That's a pretty sweet deal.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about
They
75,000
need to
square
throw
feet.
this ship's owner in prison. He lost his grandmother 2 days before he left the ship. He says, "I'll never forgive the people who kept me here while I lost my family one by one. I never want to see this damn ship again."
Damn.
Also, so this is interesting too, as we kind of get into the more of the details. So evidently, so crew members and the ship's agent said the vessel is owned by Yusuf bin Sanad, right? When reached by phone in Bahrain by the journal being Wall Street Journal, I think, Sanad said he isn't the owner, but the formal commercial manager for a now bankrupt company, right? So at this point, this is a bankrupt company who owns this, so everybody's just like, I don't own it. I don't own it. They don't own it. We don't know who owns it. All right, so you, that guy, you're the owner now. Pay up. Be like, I'm on a fucking boat. I can't pay. I don't own this shit. What are you talking about? He'd be like, you own it. You're the guy. Pay up, or you live here now, right? Be like, all right, this is legally your home, right?
Dude,
like, I don't own it, right? So
This
yeah,
seems
so
just like a lot of dumb people making bad decisions. Like, obviously, the guy
totally.
doesn't own the boat. Why doesn't someone just be like, okay, look, let's just square this away?
God, I bet he does own the boat. Like, I bet this
The
guy
Suez-
is just passing the buck.
You think it's a big scam? The Suez Canal feels like a mess, right?
Yeah, total shit show.
Holy shit.
Really shit show over there, huh?
Clean that shit up, guys.
I mean, somebody's buying the rights to this shit, obviously. Like, somebody's going to be making this into a movie. I am assuming, and this isn't racial profiling, this is just say because he's on the rise right now, Riz Ahmed is going to be playing this dude. No question.
That's a good casting choice.
He was so fucking good in The Sound of Metal. And so I feel like this is just like the role of a lifetime. You remember that movie Moon?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like Moon. I feel like this is like that kind
Sam
of vibe.
Rockwell.
I think it's Sam Rockwell. So this is like a little bit of Castaway.
Tommy Hanks.
Tom Hanks. So I think
this is a series.
Ahmed? Is that his name?
Riz Ahmed. Yeah. He was in The Night Of on HBO. That series was so good.
Oh, dude. He's so good. So this is great. I think that this is somebody buy the rights. Let Riz play this dude. He would be a fucking crusher. This would be an insane film. Yeah. I like, honestly, like, what do you do? I mean, because boats are also scary. Like, they're not like they're
there's a lot of creaking.
Yeah, there's a lot of creaking. There's probably
ghosts.
A lot of mice and rats and probably ghosts.
All boats have a ghost.
And I guess, I mean, let's play this out a little bit.
Yeah, we're not talking about some of the upsides of this, you guys. You guys are very negatore. I mean, man, he's got how many tons of shipping containers that he gets to just like pillage and look through? And he gets to sit in a Hyundai Sonata, maybe 9 of them, and just sit there and turn on the radio.
Would like to drive that Hyundai. Yeah.
He's doing a lot of like pretend driving like my 4-year-old.
That keeps me busy for about a year and a half.
Yeah, there is kind of something interesting about, because I mean, this would be absolute torture, but then you would, you would figure out some. I mean, he was out there for 4 years, guys. Like 4 years. We've been doing this podcast for less than 4 years. So
what?
He should get a degree, right? I mean,
yeah.
Gets a degree.
He should be made a captain. He's a captain now.
I don't think he's ever going to see a boat for the rest of his life. I think he's off boats, but
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that story is insane.
Damn,
but yeah, I mean, I think
crazy.
that kind of wraps it up. I mean, I think that we're. I know we all have to go to our respective proverbial preschools now. Even though we don't have preschool today, we do have regular jobs. So
we do.
Frida, you're on a job right now too, right? You're doing directing the thing,
factory work.
Doing factory work. I'm using my brain.
Yeah.
So I got to go crank out some pages of stuff. You know, right. Just the life of a writer, dude. Put on my sweater. I got nothing else.
Cool.
So I'm just looking at pictures of the Suez Canal. I'm blown away by this place.
Tell us more about the Suez Canal.
It's just seemingly this like narrow strip of, a canal through the middle of the desert. It connects the Mediterranean to the Red Sea near Saudi Arabia. So it's a huge time saver, right? Like Instead of going from the
under
Mediterranean
Africa.
around Africa, you get to just cut through. Except it's so narrow and seemingly pretty shallow. Like things can go wrong. So it just seems like there's like a lot of hubbub and crap going on in and out of there. Yeah, pretty wild.
I mean, it's a good get for Egypt, man. I mean, if you get that canal, dude, that's some serious canal money. You can put a couple Walmarts and fucking McDonald's in there, dude. You hit the interstate.
I think it's the one thing that's keeping Egypt in the game, you know?
Yeah, man.
I guess
they got that. They got the Suez Canal. They got a couple fucking tombs. And
I read a sick conspiracy that's my new favorite. Is that the dinosaurs helped build the pyramids because they're so big. They picked up the blocks, and they're the ones who put them together. And I was like, well, that's the answer. Duh.
That's obviously the answer.
I'm not going to look.
Can't think of another answer, quite frankly. So,
no.
All right. Well, this let's close this one out. It's a fun little episode, fascinating episode. I think we have. Do we have any more guests? We have a couple guests coming up. I think we got some people coming up. Maybe we'll get Adam and Eve to join us on the pod at some point.
Yeah, Adam, Eve, bring it on.
And if you're a poppin' podcast that thinks it's a good fit to slip into our DMs, go for it. Hey, let's get crazy.
Why not? Love it. All right. Well, this is Did You Reddit, a weekly podcast about the internet by way of Reddit, the front page of the internet. And my name is It's Your Dad.
I'm Dawa Boobs.
I'm Free Day. It's studio.
Shout out our good pals, Crush Pineapple, Shia LaDouche, and of course the Boom King. Joining us as always. We'll be back next week with another episode about the internet. Bye.
Bye, everybody.